Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where enrich vocabulary and speak English with pride.
Thanks for having back me.
Yeah, of course. So, our mission for this episode is to really explore two very vivid, kind of dramatic English phrases.
Right. Phrases that deal with the absolute extremes of human experience.
Exactly. I mean, on one side, you have these unbelievable, triumphant victories, and then on the other, you have this completely overwhelming emotional pain.
Yeah, because ordinary words, they just don't always capture the sheer intensity of what we go through.
No, they don't. We need language that is, physically exaggerated sometimes.
Precisely. We reach for these aggressive, highly specific phrases to process our reality.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the first extreme we are looking at is that unbelievable high of unexpected success. And the phrase is, defy expectations.
Yeah, that's a heavy one.
It really is. The words themselves just feel forceful.
Well, the mechanics of the phrase are exactly what make it so powerful. You really have to look at the literal meanings. I mean, think about the word defy. It's a highly active, almost aggressive verb. To defy someone is to openly resist or completely refuse to obey an authority figure.
Wait, so is it almost like an act of rebellion against the odds?
Yes, exactly. That rebellious nature is the whole engine behind the phrase.
So it's more than just doing a good job or getting a good grade.
Oh, absolutely. The authority you are pushing back against here is expectations. And expectations are basically just the predictions or limits that society puts on you.
Like the invisible rules.
Right. So when you defy expectations, you are looking right at those negative predictions from experts, refusing to accept them, and just breaking right through to succeed anyway.
You see this dynamic all the time in professional sports, like the whole idea of the underdog.
Oh, for sure. Sports are built on this.
Yeah, I was looking through the source material, and they bring up the New York Knicks making that spectacular run to the NBA Finals.
Which is a perfect example of overcoming massive odds. I mean, before that season even started, the statistical models, the analysts, they all had incredibly low predictions for them.
The public narrative basically built a wall in front of the team.
Yeah, millions of people expected them to fail early. But they didn't just play well. They actively resisted that narrative and pushed back against that weight.
But it's not just big public sporting events, right? I mean, this happens on a quiet, personal level, too.
Oh, all the time.
Like, look at Elena from our research.
Right. Elena's story is incredible.
Yeah. She taught herself to code in, just 3 months, and then landed a high-paying software job.
Which completely breaks the standard rules for career advancement.
Totally. The expectation is you need a 4-year degree or years of grinding at a low-level tech job.
And she basically looked at that rule, ignored it, and forced her own timeline. It's a personal rebellion. There were no sports analysts on TV talking about her, but she defied expectations just as powerfully.
That makes a lot of sense. But I actually want to push back on the boundaries of this phrase for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
What if the rebellion, goes the wrong way? Like, say you have a genius student. They study all the time. They take an incredibly easy test, but they completely fail it.
Oh, I see what you're asking.
Yeah, like the outcome was a massive shock. Did that student defy expectations?
No, they absolutely did not.
Wait, really? Even though it was a surprise?
Right, and understanding why is crucial. The phrase defy expectations has a strict polarity. It is almost strictly used for positive, shocking victories. You never use it for a bad surprise.
Huh. But if defying means breaking a rule, why can't you break the rule downward?
Because defying implies an upward momentum. You are overcoming resistance. When you fail, you aren't overcoming anything, you're giving up to the resistance.
Oh, wow, okay. So what do you say instead?
If the outcome is surprisingly bad, you say it fell short of expectations.
Ah, fell short. I like the visual there. Gravity wins.
Exactly. You tried to reach the bar, lost momentum, and fell. You didn't break a rule. So save defy for those triumphant moments where someone punches through the ceiling.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so that upward rebellion is one extreme, but here's where it gets really interesting.
Because we have to look at the other extreme now.
Right. What happens when it's not a triumphant victory, but just overwhelming emotional pain?
We move to a phrase that translates intense emotion into a literal physical breakdown.
Yeah, the phrase cry one's eyes out.
Right. To cry your eyes out means you are weeping hysterically, loudly and heavily for a long period of time.
Because you're deeply sad or hurt.
Exactly. You're completely overwhelmed.
But the imagery is almost startling, right? Like, where does that dramatic exaggeration come from?
It comes from the actual physical sensation of severe grief. When someone is truly heartbroken, the physical act of sobbing takes over.
Like the tears are flowing so fast it literally hurts.
Yes. The pressure behind your eyes gets so painful, it feels like the intense pressure of the sobbing will cause your eyes to literally empty out or fall out of your face.
Oh man, it's like the human equivalent of a cartoon character crying a literal river.
That's a great way to picture it.
I mean, obviously no one's eyes actually fall out, but it perfectly captures that feeling of crying as hard as humanly possible.
Because standard words for sadness just fail us. If someone says, "I was very sad," you don't really feel it. But if they say, "I cried my eyes out," they paint a vivid physical picture.
It forces you to understand the exact magnitude of what they're feeling.
Exactly. And we see this in huge public spectacles, too. The source material points to the World Cup as an example.
Oh, yeah. Billions of fans, dozens of countries. The stakes are astronomical.
Right. The identity of a whole nation feels tied to a single match. So if their country loses,
you literally see millions of people in the stands crying their eyes out.
Because collective grief of that size demands a dramatic, global-scale phrase.
But it works for quiet moments too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Think about Sophia from our sources. She's standing at the airport terminal saying a painful goodbye to her best friend who's moving across the ocean.
That is such an isolating moment. No crowds, no TV cameras.
Right. But the internal emotional pressure is the same. When she cries her eyes out at the airport, it communicates that her grief is absolute.
Yeah, saying she cried a lot just wouldn't do it justice.
It would severely diminish her pain.
But that actually brings up a really important boundary. Because this language is so visceral and dramatic, there have to be places where you shouldn't use it.
Oh, this is a very strong warning. You should never, under any circumstances, use "cry one's eyes out" in formal professional business communications.
So if a massive project fails or a client cancels a huge deal, I can't tell my boss, "Hey, the team is crying their eyes out."
Definitely not. It's far too personal and hysterical for a business setting. It undermines your professional credibility.
Even if the team really is stressed and literally crying in the break room.
Especially then. You have to translate that emotion into objective terms. You should say the team is deeply disappointed by the news.
Deeply disappointed. That definitely sounds safer.
It maintains the seriousness of the situation without the hysterical physical imagery. Save the dramatic storytelling for your personal life.
So what does this all mean? When you look at these two phrases together, ordinary language just isn't enough.
No, humans want to express the raw intensity of existence.
Right. Whether it's rebelling against reality by defying expectations or exaggerating physical pain by crying our eyes out, we need extreme language to survive extreme moments.
And that's why I encourage you, the listener, to observe how people use these phrases around you this week.
Notice the underdog victories in the news or how a friend talks about a personal setback.
Exactly. Think about how you can start applying these phrases to the extreme highs and lows you observe in your own world.
Which actually leads me to a really provocative final thought for you to ponder.
Cool, let's hear it.
Does using such intense, dramatic language to describe our lives actually change the way we experience those events?
That is a fascinating question.
Right. If you say you are crying your eyes out, does the simple act of using that vivid imagery make the emotion feel even bigger? Does the language create the reality?
Something to think about the next time you're in an extreme situation.
Definitely. Well, thanks for exploring this with me.
Anytime.
And thank you for joining us. We will catch you next time.